Yes, I welcome you to this lesson of P5, and I want to remind you that we are covering work that is now termed workbooks. It's an English lesson, just like I said, for P5. Last time we had started looking at nationalities, but I've discovered there's a lot more we'd love to cover when we are together at school. So you can leave those pages remaining, all the remaining pages about nationalities, unless you come across simple structures that you can easily deal with. Yes. Otherwise, I would love to cover all the remaining work about nationalities when we are together at school. That's when we can get the details properly and we clearly see what you're doing with that work. We want to move together smoothly when we are at school. So, allow me to take you forward. That is page 67, where we're going to look at nouns. The rest we have not yet seen. We'll cover when we are together at school. Okay, nouns for today. And let's begin with the definition as usual. What's a noun? This should not be our first time to look at the word nouns or the topic nouns. If you've been with us from P1 to P5, I believe you have heard something about nouns. And what is a noun? A noun is a name of anything. We are saying a noun is a name of anything. And I want to tell you to look around you in that room where you are, or in that compound where you are seated watching this. Whatever you see around you is a noun. So nouns are categorized into different kinds. We see common nouns. Yes, we can talk about abstract nouns. They are what we call collective nouns and proper nouns. So for today, our concern is about common nouns. Common nouns. Common nouns are names given to groups of things or people of the same kind. For example, we talk about a country. Yes, when you talk about the word country, you remember there's a country called Uganda. There's a country called Tanzania. There's a country called Rwanda. There's a country called Cameroon, Nigeria, Niger, Botswana, South Africa, Morocco. All those are countries. So the word country is the general word for all those different words I've mentioned. So we use country as a common noun. An name for a group of people or things. Talk of a bee. In bees, you talk of bees. If you're in P5, I think you have started learning about bees. Queen bees. What about drones? All those are kinds of bees. But they share the same name, bee, meaning bees. They are common noun. Then teacher. Yes, we have different teachers in your school. We have different teachers in other schools. All those share the same title, teacher. So teacher being there, common noun. Other nouns include boy, town, and many others. So that's about common nouns. Common nouns in our workbook are on page 67. So common nouns are categorized into countable nouns and uncountable nouns. Let's take a look at uncountable nouns. What do we have to say about uncountable nouns? They are nouns or names of things that cannot be counted. Yes, things that cannot be counted are categorized under uncountable nouns. Just like here, the word uncountable. Things that cannot be counted are uncountable nouns. Look at the items in your house that cannot be counted. You bring out things like, yes, sugar cannot be counted. When I look around, soil cannot be counted. Alcohol, I don't know whether you have alcohol in your house, and that should not be good. Alcohol cannot be counted, sand cannot be counted, and many others, So all those are uncountable nouns. We have many examples of uncountable nouns in our workbook on the same page, 67. So that's it about uncountable nouns, things that cannot be counted. What about countable nouns? Countable nouns are nouns or names of things that can be counted, such as lorry. And you count lorries, you can count 1 lorry, 2 lorries, 3 lorries. Then country, you can count countries, like I've been mentioning them. You can count them. You can even remember or rewind and listen to the names, to the number of countries the teacher has mentioned. Yes, there were 4 African countries. So country is another example of a countable noun. Donkey, ruler, chair, ewe. This is a ewe. A ewe is a female sheep, and many others. All those are countable nouns. So because they are countable nouns, they can exist both in singular and in plural. I'm saying because they are countable nouns, they can exist both in singular and in plural. So because they can exist in singular and plural, let's take a look at the plurals of those countable nouns. It is a very common question in English. And if you have issues with the plural of nouns, yes, English will be one of your subjects. Plurals of uncountable nouns, and these ones are provided in our workbooks. Yes, you're going to see that the commonest way of forming plurals of nouns is by using letter S. By using letter S. Letter S is a key part of the plural form of any noun. Okay, of most nouns. Let me not say of any noun. Of most nouns. Most nouns are changed to plural, from singular to plural, by adding or using letter S or suffix S. Let's read this. Plurals of countable nouns are formed by adding suffixes S or ES. Again, S appears in that suffix. And to the singular, you add S or ES to the singular. That's how most plurals of nouns are formed. Get the singular noun, add there ES. On the following page 68, we see the different ways of forming the pronouns of the singulars given to us. We see stomach, mouth, son, which is it stands for a person. Yes, father, then cartoon, month, mother, date, and so on. All those nouns form their plurals by simply adding S. You simply add S to turn father to plural, fathers, mother to plural, mothers, son, stomach, then month, and many others as shown in that workbook. Sheep, the one you see there is not an animal, should be a water vessel. Yes, it's a water vessel. That's the one that turns to plural and becomes ships. S-H-I-P-S. Next, we see plurals that are formed by adding ES. Whatever I'm talking about right now is in the workbook. So you can follow using that very workbook on page 68. By adding ES, that is the suffix I talked about. A suffix, that's a letter or group of letters added to the end of a word to change its meaning. It's a suffix. So we have the singular this side and the plural the other side. We have watch, and these nouns, they are mixed up in here, they are mixed up. You discover most of them end in either O or CH. Either O or CH. Those are the nouns we are talking about. You'll see words like match, hero, cockroach, branch, beach. All those words are in that category of nouns whose plural forms are got by adding ES to the singular. You write match, you add ES to form the plural form of match, and that is matches. So others end in IX. Either IX or EX. Even OX, all those change to plural by simply adding ES. Fox, talk of fox, which changes to foxes. But we have this strange word, ox itself changes to plural and becomes oxen. Yes, very unique, exceptional to the rule given to you. So you'll go through the table and learn more about the way different plural forms are got from singulars for those nouns that are given to us. Yeah. After that, we have an activity, and that activity has words I would like you to remove. Yes, you remove the word news because news is a singular noun. We don't have the proform of a singular noun. Yes, or an uncountable noun. Don't include the word politics, meaning whatever word I mention, ignore it. News out. Because the instructions are telling you to write the proform of the following. News has no proform. Politics has no proform. Manservant, okay, manservant you can leave, but remember the plural of manservant should be main servants. Men, plural. Servants, plural. So you pluralize both words, men and servants. We go. 11, scabies, being a disease, has no proform, so you can remove that one. And lastly, barracks. Yes, we should not include barracks in our list. Looks like it's a singular noun. Next, we see commander-in-chief. This one should be part of our list. Fine, don't remove it. And the proform should be commanders-in-chief. It's called a compound noun with 2 or more words. Nouns that are formed from 2 or more words are known as compound nouns. The following nouns look plural, but they are in singular. Examples, we have civics, physics, mathematics. And this one includes scabies, yes, being a disease. Tomorrow you see mumps. This word news, like the teacher, the teacher has put it clear here. The word news is singular, so it doesn't have a proform. That's why I have told you to remove it from that list above. We are saying some common disease, mumps, rickets, tuberculosis, rickets, and scabies. That's why I told you to remove scabies from that list above. So it has no proform because it's a disease, it's always singular. The foreign nouns are only used in the proform. You will see them, you read about them, and just know, never use them in singular. When you say, I have a trouser at home, we shall say that word is not an English word. If it is an English word, it must mean something different from what you are meaning. You don't have a trouser, you have a pair of trousers. Yes, you have a pair of trousers. Not talk about my pajamas. It's my pajamas or my pair of pajamas. It's always plural. If you want to make it singular, you add the word pair, a pair of, but the word remains with its S, a pair of pajamas. Then talk of scissors used for cutting by tailors. Tailors use pairs of scissors to cut. Don't say, I have brought a scissor. Never. I have brought a pair of scissors. So we have other ways you can form prose. One is by adding, changing the last Y to I, then you add ES. I told you ES and S are important parts in forming prose of nouns. That table is also given on page 70 about the way you can turn nouns that end in Y, yes, that Y coming after a consonant, to plural. What happens? Change the last Y to I before you add ES. An example is here. Count. The last Y is coming after T, and T is a consonant. So what happens? It changes to count to form the plural form. Sorry, that's not the spelling of counties. I've removed the last Y and replaced it with I before adding E and S. Simple as that. Some people mention adjectives when the teacher is talking about nouns. Are examples of nouns that end in Y coming after consonant. Someone tells you, teacher lazy, teacher heavy. Then you wonder, is this a noun? This is an adjective, this is another adjective. Therefore, remember, nouns are names of things. Okay, which other noun can we talk about ending in Y? L-O-R-R-Y. That's lorry. Changing to L-O-R-R. Instead of the last Y, because it comes after consonant, what happens? Replace it with I before you add your ES. Simple as that. Simple as that. Teacher, what if the last Y comes after a vowel? An example, B-O-Y. An example, K-E-Y. An example, C-H-I-M-N-E-Y. That is chimney, boy, key, etc., monkey, and many others. If the last Y is coming after a vowel, what happens? Simply add it straight away. B-O-Y. This last Y is coming after a vowel, add S. But the last Y coming after consonant, replace it with I before you add S. Simple. Then key becomes keys. Chimney becomes chimneys. Simple. That's how easy plurals of nouns can be. That is, if you listen to the teacher, everything becomes very easy. Okay, you'll go through all those tables as shown, then you do that activity on page 70. Go ahead to page 71. There is another table, not collective nouns, compound nouns. There are those that have prepositions in them. Then under that very table, okay, in the table we have words like passerby, commander-in-chief, maid-servant, son-in-law, editor-in-chief, court-martial. That one is courts-martial. Yes, is correct. Courts-martial. Then we have chief of staff, point of inquiry. That is points of inquiry, not points of inquiries. Yes. What else do I need to say about this? Maybe listen to this very clearly. Yeah, the teacher put all of them together. I want to make you learn this. We have words like bookshelf. We have words like shoe, lace. We have words like chalkboard. Maybe I use the very words you have here. We have words like chief of staff. Chief of staff. We have words like head of department. I like small letters, head of department. I'll tell you when to use capital letters. Head of department. And the last example I want to bring here is a point of inquiry, correct? Point of inquiry. There's a difference between the first three and the last three. In the first three, we see words that nouns that are formed. In fact, all of them are called compound nouns. All these are compound nouns formed from two or more words. Compound nouns. They are compound nouns with two words. They are compound nouns with three words. This is the difference. A bookshelf, a shoelace, a chalkboard. This one has emphasis on the last two words. In other words, the teacher is telling you that a bookshelf is not a book, but a shelf. Therefore, the answer should be, the proform should be only on the last word, and that is shelf, which changes to shelves. Answer, book, shelves. The teacher gave it to you as one word, maintain that. Should be one word. What about a shoelace? Is it a shoe or it's lace? A shoelace. Your mom tells you to go to the living room and bring her shoelace. What will you bring? Will you bring the shoe or the lace itself? You bring the lace. So the plural should be on the last noun. So the plural becomes shoe laces. The words were separated. I also separate to form my plural. Then chalkboard. A chalkboard. When I tell you to go and touch the chalkboard, what do you touch? I have two things. Go and touch the chalkboard. I have chalk, I have the board. You will obviously touch the board. And therefore, the proform of chalkboard should be chalk, then, one word, boards, chalkboards. And these are all correct because you pluralize with the keyword in that noun. Check this, a chief of staff. that is chiefs of staff. Next, head of department. Heads of department in short, because I have no space. Heads of department. Then point of inquiry, the proform is points of inquiry. The difference is here, the emphasis is on the first noun. So we change the first noun to plural. Here, the emphasis is on the last noun. That's why we change the last noun to plural. As simple as that. When you look at the words we have here, maybe what I can say here is words that have prepositions, compound nouns that have prepositions within the two words or between the two words, change to plural by only considering the first noun. Which other words can I talk about? We can talk about commander-in-chief. Yes, commander-in-chief. This is now changing to commanders. Commanders. Hyphenate, if the hyphens were mentioned, were given. Commanders-in-chief. So that's our style of forming pros of nouns as indicated by the teacher. And as shown in the workbook on page 71. Other pros are given here by changing F to C. No. This is unacceptable. Changing F to ES to V, not ES. You're going to make this change or this correction by changing F to V before you add ES. We have words like leaf, changing F to V, L-E-A-V before you add ES to form the proform as leaves. What about this? W-O-L-F, that's wolf. Change it to W-O-L-V. Change F to V. Change F to V before you add ES to form the proform of wolf as wolves. Oh, yeah. There are many others in that category, including this one I've just talked about. F was changed to V before you added ES. That is shelf and shelves. Many others continue up to page 72. And another list I see here, one of the last lists, has nouns that end with Y, with F, but just add S, including words like reef. These reefs are found at the bottom of the sea. Those who normally watch TV, yes, TVs that focus much on nature, have broadcast documentaries that take you deep into the sea at the bottom. That's where you find reefs. Then cliff, roof, hoof, plus handkerchief, all those nouns simply add S. They end in F, but that F is not changed to V, like in leaf and wolf. This one, simply add F straight away. Okay, after that I will give you an activity, and that activity is of only 8 questions. Try it out and test yourself, test your knowledge about the mastery or the amount of knowledge you've acquired connected to the proforms of nouns and how they are formed. Then we have another table here. This one is now a mixture. Yes, pros that are formed in different ways. We have stimulus, stimuli, papyrus, papyri, syllabus, syllabi, formula, changing to formulae, sometimes formulae, formulas. Next we have laws, changing to lies. This one is now a mixture. Oasis, changing to oases. There are many science words here, yes, and this is 2 words. Look at the table, study it carefully, and continue mastering all those different pros that are given and how they are formed, how they are spelled, possibly even how they are pronounced. Nouns with 0 pros remain unchanged. Those ones are also given there. So right now, allow me to take you straight forward to collective nouns. Collective nouns are on which page? Page 74. Page 74, that's where you have stuff about collective nouns. We are saying collective nouns are names given to groups of things or people. Names given to groups of things or people are known as collective nouns. We have examples of collective nouns in our book. Yes, a very big list. In fact, very many lists. We have collective nouns that are connected to people, those that are connected to other things. Then the teacher gave you a list of words, nouns that should be pronounced the right way. We have butcher, Christmas, often, often should not. Okay, sometimes it has two pronunciations. Some people pronounce it as often, others often. Then listen, nestle, watch, then which. All those words have a silent T. Silent T, they are on page 75. Just under the list of collective nouns. Let's turn to our table, which is on the board. This is a table of what would be activity, but I've chosen that we do it together. Complete the table below collectively. We have the common noun and the collective noun. A group of wolves moving together is known as a pack, as shown in the book. So we talk of a pack of wolves. A pack of wolves. Then pigs. Pigs, you know pigs, yes. Pigs move in groups known as herds. So you say, talk of a herd of pigs. Next is oxen. Oxen live in groups known as teams. So we talk about a team of oxen. Oxen, I told you, is the plural form of ox. Yes. Then fish. A group of fish swimming together is a school. Did you know that? That a school is a group of fish moving together or swimming together. Then books, pens, rulers, and so on are known as stationery. Stationery is the word. Stationery. Monkeys move in groups known as troops. So we talk of a troop of monkeys. Then trees, a collection of trees as taught in P.5 is a forest. P.5 literacy too. Chicks, a group of chicks is a brood. Then a group of sheep is a flock, and finally a group of servants is a staff. So that's the way you're supposed to complete the table on that page 76. There are many other tables showing you the word, then the abstract noun, and that's now under the heading abstract nouns. What are abstract nouns? These are things that cannot be touched or clearly seen to exist. You cannot touch them. You cannot see them clearly that they really exist. Those are called abstract nouns. We have examples of abstract nouns, yes, and all of them are given in the workbook. Yes, go to the workbook, you will check tables showing abstract nouns and how they are formed. We have the word good, changing to goodness. We have quick, then quickness, bad, changing to badness, and all those are formed by adding suffix N-E-S. N-E-S added to the word to form the abstract noun. Badness, goodness, cleverness, strictness, etc. Another category of forming, another way of forming abstract nouns is by using CY as your suffix or CE. The list is on page 77 and shows you words like distant, innocent, what else? Important, pregnant, supreme, and merciful. Change to nouns like distance, innocence, importance, pregnancy, and supremacy as mercy. C, category C, we are discussing work that's on page 77 using suffix TION to form the the abstract noun from the given words. Words like, yes, words like explain, locate, pronounce, master the pronunciation. Let me slow down. Master the pronunciation. Master the spelling as well. There are words that have letters that are dropped. If you're not careful, you're going to throw there your mistakes and the teacher will end up crossing your answer. Explain. Explanation. Explanation is the abstract noun from explain. You get explain, use suffix TION as shown in the heading, and you'll get the answer as explanation. Then after that, we see locate, change to location, pronunciation, not pronoun, but pronunciation. So you go to S-I-O-N, that's another suffix used to form abstract nouns, where we have words like explode. There's a typing error here. These words were supposed to be written starting with small letters or lowercase letters. The word should start with the lowercase letters. Explode, permit, admit, discuss, circumcise, ascend, and invade are words. Check the nouns that are formed from them. We say explosion, permission, admission, double S, discussion, double S, circumcision, single S this time round, ascension, invade, changing to invasion. So we see an activity on that very page 77, and this one is telling us to form abstract nouns from the words that are given below. So that's all I can tell you about abstract nouns. Abstract nouns, yes, whatever I wanted to write on the board was already in our books. So let's now take a look at proper nouns. Proper nouns are specific names of people, places, towns, buildings, and so on. Those are the proper nouns. When you talk about proper nouns, we mean go and look at that person at home. And that person has a specific name. Yes, he is called Rutaya Jeremiah. Yes, Rutaya Jeremiah. So Rutaya Jeremiah becomes a proper noun because it is his specific name. You've understood? Go look at that place where you stay. It has a specific name. And that specific name is Namumona. If you stay in Namumona, Namumona becomes a specific name of that place. Therefore, Namumona is the abstract noun. What about the town? Get that town. Go to that town where you stay. Let's, okay, just take there your mind. Hey, my town is Lugazi. So, the town itself, the word town is a common noun. But Lugazi becomes its specific name. Therefore, Lugazi is a proper noun. What about buildings? The Maviri's complex. One of the most famous buildings in Uganda, I can say. Maviri's complex is a building. Building itself is a common noun. Then a building has its specific name, and that specific name, Maviri's complex, becomes the proper noun. One thing we need to master about abstract noun, proper nouns is they are written starting with capital letters. With capital letters. Let's look at the different categories of abstract nouns. And here we talk about names of people. We've seen the examples: Rutaya Jeremiah, Muwonge Ivan, Ogwag Moses. All those are all those are proper nouns because they are names of people, specific names of people. Next, we have names of roads. Names of roads. Names of roads are proper nouns. Examples here are Ruthuri Avenue. Ruthuri Avenue. Ruthuri Avenue is the name of a road. Yes, that's the one that leads you to train up a child primary school. Bugorori. Ruthuri Avenue. Then Muluana Road, William Street, Huntington Road. Dot your I. Huntington Road. All these are names of specific names of roads in Kampala, and they are abstract. They are proper nouns. Why are they written in with capital letters at the beginning? We need capital letters at the beginning because we are writing specific names of roads. In other words, proper nouns. All proper nouns begin with capital letters. We have names of rivers. Maybe I say something about an avenue and a street. An avenue is a road that passes through trees. A street is a road that passes through buildings. That is the simple difference I can give you. Streets pass through buildings, then avenues pass through trees. Simple as that. Okay, let's go to the names of rivers. Names of rivers are also known as proper nouns. an example. For example, we have River Nile, the longest river in the world. River Nile, with its source in Africa. River Nile. River Nile is a proper noun, as I've been explaining. Another river, the second longest river in the world, Amazon River. The Amazon River is another example of an abstract noun, specific name of a river. That is Amazon River. It is found in South America. One of the countries through which it flows is known as Brazil, and it is one of the largest countries in the world. Okay, that's Amazon River. It's an example, a proper noun. Next, we have River Fiji. Is it in Tanzania? Obviously, yes. River Fiji is an example, a name of a river, and we've said specific names of rivers are proper nouns. What else do I need to say about this? Names of rivers, names of mountains. We have Mount Kilimanjaro, that is in Tanzania, Mount Moroto, that is Uganda, and Mount Elgon. All those are proper nouns, and they are written beginning with capital letters. Why? They are specific names of mountains. Names of schools: Train Up a Child Primary School, Better View Primary School, St. Anthony Primary School. Then Victorious alone? No. Victorious is an adjective. Victorious Primary School is a school. Then Victorious alone should be an adjective. Okay, Victorious Primary School, you can add the word primary school. Victorious Primary School. Names of countries, places, villages and continents are also proper nouns as indicated here. What about names of days? We have the word day, and that is a common noun. The specific name of that day is Tuesday. Yeah, so Tuesday is my abstract noun. We have the word day, common noun. The specific day, name of the day I'm talking about is Sunday. Sunday becomes an abstract noun. A proper noun. It's a proper noun. Months of the year, January up to December, all those are abstract. Are proper nouns. Proper nouns, specific names of things. So we have an activity where you are told to punctuate the sentences correctly. In other words, use capital letters where necessary and put other necessary punctuation marks. That goes from page 78 to page 79. The next time we meet, we'll be discussing issues to do with voices, the passive voice of the past simple. Thanks for listening, and thanks for keeping on learning with us. It's a lengthy lockdown. You can't afford to sit without watching your teacher or watching this board. You'll be killing your future in terms of academics. I want to end here and wish you a wonderful day, maybe a wonderful week till we meet next time. Goodbye, stay safe.